What is going on, everybody? It's Jay, aka it's MEGUMI here, back with another Phantom Parade showcase video. This time, we are doing a hybrid showcase, I guess you could say, on MEGUMI. So, usually on this channel, obviously, we usually do the tower showcase first, then I post a follow-up video featuring a sweep showcase. In this video, we're doing a tower showcase and sweep showcase because the only floor I can really showcase MEGUMI on reasonably from the 81 through 90 range is 82, and I don't really think that shows his full strength. So we're also going to include a sweep clear. Now, in this video, I originally recorded the intro when I had him still A0. So the tower run is going to be A0 MEGUMI. The sweep showcase is going to be A1 MEGUMI. The difference is very, very tiny. I just gave him A1 for the sake of the Calamity event, but let's just get into the kit overview. So first things first, we have Divine Dog Totality. So we have a 200% break damage increase applied to him when he does pop this skill, which reminds me of Rabbit Escape MEGUMI, where he does apply like that 100% debuff increase on his ultimate just for that turn. Pretty cool, right? Obviously it applies break damage taken increase in general just for 3 turns. And on top of that, it's able to extend the effects of your debuffs. So your stat debuffs and your damage taken debuffs. So from your skill 2 and skill 3. Now mind you, you can't just spam skill 1 and basically have just like an infinite running stat debuff or damage taken debuff. This works, you know, for 3 turns after, right? It does not activate for 3 turns after taking effect, so you have to wait. Next is his skill 2, which is the Wells Unknown Abyss, which is going to be your bread and butter skill. First things first, it ignores darkness, Chef's Kiss, because I hate darkness mechanics so much. It has a 50% stat debuff for 3 turns, so 150%. It also has a chance to apply stun, but since we play hard content on this channel, you, the viewer at home, yes, I'm talking to you, you also play hard content, so you're not really going to see this very often. Instead, when stun fails, you'll get crit resist decrease instead for 2 turns, which is so beneficial for literally any unit that has a crit related passive, or if you're running Like-Minded Sisters or Cursed Spirit School group, or for example, the Black Flash units in the game that will just rain Black Flashes when this is applied. Now next we have skill 3, which is Maximum Elephant. Now this is a damage taken increase skill, right? This is not your stat debuffing skill, this is a damage taken increase skill. It obviously has crit resist decrease attached to it, which again is pretty peak. It's also an AoE skill as well. Also gives MEGUMI an even further crit rate increase to himself for 4 turns and Jujutsu damage increase to self for 4 turns. And it also applies a crit rate increase for the ally behind him alongside a stat buff to the ally behind him for 4 turns. Now, I don't really use this skill at all during this video, but there are pretty interesting circumstances where you can use it, because this is kind of like an all-in-one type of skill, a jack-of-all-trade type of skill. And then finally, we have Shikigami Cooperation, which is his ultimate, which is kind of like Blue Yaga's ultimate in a sense. It's a huge debuff bomb, right? So you have your stat debuffing, you have your damage taken increase, you have your break damage increase, and you have your crit resist decrease, all in just one skill, right? Oh, I said damage taken increase, my bad. Remove that. Your boy kind of just read into that too quickly. But yeah, stat debuffing, break damage taken increase, and crit resist decrease. No damage taken increase. Redact that. Redact that. But that's still a very, very strong debuff bomb ultimate, right? Because even then, you're going to use this unit as your primary stat debuffer. The damage taken increase stuff is just a cool addition. So this is a very, very strong skill, a stupidly strong skill. And on top of that, he applies curse energy efficiency to himself. So just straight up for 5 turns, 15 CE, 25 CE. He becomes very CE efficient for himself, even at A0. You'll see it during the floor 82 run, but also you'll be able to kind of alt loop this skill. So there's going to be like very few times where like you'll pop alt and then you'll miss out on being able to loop it back again to basically just have curse energy efficiency for the entire fight. Then we finally have his crit enhance passive, where whenever he lands a crit, he applies a curse technique increase to himself and a ult gauge increase to himself, which is peak because he definitely needs it because he has a pretty big ultimate, right? Not as big as Summer Nobara, but still a big one. And then he also applies stat buffs to the ally behind him, which is huge. Now, in this video, I am going to primarily be using the Follow Me Mr. Nanami rec bit, but in my personal opinion, the best rec bits to run on this Megumi are just the crit related ones. So for Taijutsu teams, I love running I Will Follow You Mr. Nanami on it, just because you have those Taijutsu stat buffs basically for free the entire run. And then obviously No Mountain Disaster is another personal favorite of mine, because when he lands a crit, it's 15% for 2 turns. You're basically going to have a unity from top to bottom as a passive for the entirety of whatever run you're doing. So all in all, let's just dive into the tower showcase. Let's see how cool Megumi is. Okay, so for the first run we have, it's on floor 82. Like I said, I'm pretty sure. My bad. When I'm recording these new videos, there's a lot of gaps in between them, I guess you could say. Like sometimes recording the commentary like a day or two after I actually record the run. But this one right here was the A0 performance for the general team. And I will say it went better than I expected, mainly because I hate floor 82. I mean, debuff Taijutsu stage is already something as is. But Megumi also has a very, very low health bar. And just one issue with this floor in and of itself is that the boss hits 4 times. And it doesn't really stop the boss from wanting to target just like one unit 4 times in a row, which can be really bad depending on your RNG, especially because the A0 Megumi has such a low health bar. But the main benefit we have from Megumi is obviously that crit resist decrease, so we actually get a Black Flash right on turn 2, which made me pretty happy. What can I say? If I remember correctly, yeah, like the darkness already. But we've had like some mixed RNG. That's the best way I'll put this run. Some very mixed RNG. Like I could tell that we could go way faster, but this boss has so many annoying mechanics attached to it, like the darkness application, 4 hitting attacks, a 2-turn stun, like possibly one of the worst design floors in the game in my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys agree with me on that sentiment, or if there's another floor you guys think is horribly designed. I think floor 82 is still like up there amongst like the worst designed overall. But I took the risk with the darkness on Toto, got that Black Flash. Sometimes, even though there is darkness on your unit, you gotta take that risk. You got the counter. And as you can see, the Black Flashes are flowing through because you can compare it to like my old floor 82 runs. For example, like when I first did it with like OG Green Yuji, where he had the crit resist decrease attached to his skill 3. And like obviously when this Yuji, season 3 Yuji first came out, you can see the difference in like Black Flash rate is like exponential almost. And even in just the general damage we're doing, I didn't pop a wreck bit right here. I can't exactly remember why. But I had a game plan. There's always a game plan. There's a method to the madness every time. So, oh yeah, the reason why I didn't is because I didn't have skill 2 proc. That's right. All right. So there is a method to my madness. I just got to remember what I was doing previously. And yeah, Toto was getting like bullied. But worst case scenario is that if you're running this and Megumi gets bullied, because Megumi at 8-0 has like the smallest health bar ever. Like he will fold really quickly if he gets targeted for multiple turns in a row. And I didn't want to bring multiple healing rec bits because I'm like, okay, if I just bring one as like the Megumi insurance on Choso, plus it gives like the passive of Cursed Energy, we'll be fine for the run. Because then Choso will have CE, so that'll give us enough debuffs, you know, to keep everything rolling steady. And that will also cover the healing situation for Megumi or any other unit that gets really hard targeted from the run. But I was mainly thinking about Megumi. Toto just happened to be getting bullied the most. And I also checked like Flying Red Scale stack a bunch because your boy has that dementia just straight up locked in the brain. And obviously Mr. Nanami rec bit for the passive crit rate increase is very nice on Megumi because again, like I said during the kit overview, when he's able to proc that rec bit and give that Taijutsu increase to his team, that damage goes a long way, which helps us not bring double healing rec bits and speed up the run because we can just do that increased damage. If only if this stage was just even better and we didn't have like our Black Flash rate ups nerfed, but it's whatever. No Black Flashes, tears, absolute tears. But the Go Toto locked in on the follow-up. And obviously we're going to get our big combo ult here, which is most likely alongside the fact that I popped skill. Well, I didn't have skill 2 popped on the first ultimate rotation. I probably did save it just for like a big ultimate on break, just to kind of mow through a bunch of the boss's health bar, because I feel like we were going to clear way quicker than what I initially expected. It's just the stun RNG was so bad, and yeah, like Toto Black Flash like once during that combo ult. So I do feel like under like better circumstances, we probably could have cleared in like 12 or 13 turns, but it's floor 82. This is one of those floors where it's like, I'm not exactly looking for better circumstances. We're looking to kind of get in and get out. Didn't pop skill 2 immediately because I'm like, there's nothing really to defend against, so might as well just do the extra damage while the boss is broken. No Black Flash again from Yuji, heartbreaking. But we're still making light work of the boss. Like, this is like, again, still in my opinion, one of the most annoying floors in the game. Yet we're still just making absolute light work of it. We can attribute that to the Go Megumi. Break damage increase, and obviously extend the turns for our debuffs. Yuji locking in, Toto locking in. And yeah, this turn, it kind of cooks us a little bit. I was worried that Toto was going to get targeted out because, again, as y'all can see, Toto's health bar, like, he's been the one that's been getting punched in the face or, like, clawed in the face or poked in the face, however you would like to say it, the entire run. But instead, I'm going to spoil it for y'all. It was Choso that got stunned, which probably led to the run taking those 2 extra turns that it didn't really need. Could have been 1 more turn, maybe, if we got lucky. With Black Flash RNG, of course. Yeah, because no Black Flash RNG. Oh, I can't even really blame it. I can't even really blame it on Choso getting stunned at this point. I gotta blame it on the Black Flash RNG. Yeah, horrible. Or maybe I could have ulted a turn or like a solo ult with Yuji on this turn and maybe could have cleared right here, but again, went the safe route. And you know what, despite the fact that this is like the run where it's like, okay, no Black Flashes, no problem, we still cleared in a very decent amount of time. Like 14 turns is fine on this stage, in my opinion. Especially with a unit which has like a health bar as small as Megumi's, it's fine. But like I said, I don't think Tower is the best way to showcase this unit's full capabilities. We're actually going to go into my 10-turn hard sweep clear right about now. Okay, now for the sweep clear portion of the video, it was a 10-turn clear run. Could have been 9. Y'all will see when like the 9-turn potentially could have been there. But this was with A1 Megumi. Now, mind you, you don't need A1 Megumi to clear sweep really, really fast. I mean, 12-turn sweep clears was already kind of the standard for the most part for like a lot of the sweats, I guess you could say, in the game. I put A1 on Megumi just for the sake of the Calamity event because your boy really wants those 3,000 cubes. My greed is exponential. But all in all, this sweep clear should kind of just demonstrate just the big difference, I guess, Megumi adds to the overall team. That crit resist decrease, and you're finally able to see it without it being like super duper nerf, because we're able to combine Yuji's Black Flash rate up without it being ignored, and obviously Megumi's crit resist decrease. And on top of that, his passive is also assisting Yuji as well, so he's standing right behind him. So it's just going to be raining Black Flashes for the most part. Obviously, the only downside is that I wish it could be a 9-turn clear. I even said in my Discord server, like, it would have been a 9-turn clear if I just had level 10 S3 on Toto. Or just 2 more Chaotic Jujutsu Crystals. That's the best way I'll put it. But this run was super duper simple. Megumi makes everything so brain dead easy. That's the best way I can put it. Brain dead easy. You smack Megumi on, everybody's having a fun time. A lot of criticisms I saw for the unit is like, oh, this unit is just like exclusively for the new Nanami. Like that's really it. And I was lost. I was perplexed by that take because yes, of course, like the new Nanami that released this year, he benefits a ton from having like an actual stat debuffer that can, how do I say this, actually be effective for the entire fight, not really have any dead turns whatsoever like Gakuganji. But that's not Megumi's only strength. I feel like the idea that that's his only strength is massively like an odd take in my opinion. Megumi benefits just about literally everybody. And I have so many, and I mean so many videos already recorded of my A0 sweep runs where it's just 11 turn clears for like everybody. Like we have 11 turn clears for Todo, 11 turn clears for Nanami, 11 turn clears for Miwa, 11 turn clears for Choso, and you can attribute that all to just how great Megumi is overall. The only issue that I come with the unit is that like the best way to showcase him in current content is hard sweep, and hard sweep is already really, really easy as is in the big 2026, right? So it's kind of hard to really reinforce, I guess you could say, strong arguments against people when the content doesn't really exist to show off this unit at his full potential. And God, I hate that I said potential because now people are gonna feed into the Megumi memes, but it's whatever. Also threw in another hammer kick with Yuji just to kind of start things out because the important part was getting that break. That break mattered so much to me to get this clear done as quickly as possible. So we did that skill too. We did the ultimate and Megumi's debuff bomb ultimate. Chef's kiss reminds me of the GOAT Blue Yaga and his debuff bomb ultimate. And you could just see the break bar just kind of steadily disappearing right now. But all in all, like I've enjoyed this unit in every way to use him. It's just a shame that in terms of tower, there's not much relevant, like current relevant difficult content to use him on. Because even sweep, you know, you could barely consider difficult content at this point. Because y'all can see we're making it like chump change. And like I said before, like this is my A1 run, but I've already posted in the Discord server like multiple A0 clears that were 11 turns across multiple DPSs, which I may post as separate videos at some point. But yeah, like this run ends on this very turn, and I'm not gonna say Megumi was, you know, the main factor for this, but I think y'all know what I'm implying. That's all. But we get actually a really big ultimate out of Miwa right here, like a super big ultimate. Like the core green team, like green taijutsu is so broken at the current moment. I mean, it was already pretty broken beforehand, but man, is it broken. Like super, super, super broken now. And then Toto's gonna wrap things up. That's my GOAT. Stop telling me that my GOAT fell off. Too many of y'all be saying that. But yeah, that's the sweep clear. I'm gonna go into the final unit review. That was a fat 10 turn clear. All 3 GOATs assembled in one area. But yeah, let's dive into the final unit review, which I believe I'm gonna have to think pretty hard on this one. Okay, final unit review on Megumi. And I will say, this unit is great. He is beyond great. I feel like he'll end up being a staple on green, just in general. I mean, the conversation around green stat buffers. Okay, quick cut in. Said stat buffers, meant stat debuffers, show continued. Has already been a pretty prevalent one. I mean, considering that the previous ones we had were Gakuganji and Team Ghetto. Team Ghetto suffers in that department because he could choose either to debuff, you know, CT or taijutsu, right? So you have either a jujutsu debuffer or a taijutsu debuffer, and you have to make that individual choice on a per run basis. You don't have to struggle with that at all with Megumi. You just hit those, you just hit the skill 2, you got it no matter the team, right? And Gakuganji suffers because his stat debuffs are heavy curse energy reliant, and he does have a pretty tiny health bar, I guess you could say. And he's also not doing nearly as much damage as like the other units you could use, obviously Megumi or Team Ghetto. And also there's a 4-turn build-up for Gakugan, where Megumi only needs 3. On top of that as well, I mean, we also take into consideration ultimates as well. Team Ghetto has to take a gap turn if he's co-op ulting from debuffing. Megumi doesn't have gap turns. If you're doing a co-op ult, he's still applying all of those debuffs that you're already taking into consideration from his skill too. So there is no such thing as a downturn when you're using Megumi, because even at his A0 performance, if you run out of CE from spamming skill 2s before your ultimate, you could just hit that skill 1 and extend the turns on an already existing debuff that's applied. And once you kind of make it around that point in the first place, again, presupposing that you're running like maybe CG or you're running an alt loop team, you will reach that ultimate threshold basically by turn 5, turn 6, and you'll have that curse energy efficiency. And again, you're just keeping those debuffs rolling nonstop. That's kind of the modern support meta, I guess you can say, for nowadays. In terms of like support units that released in the big 2026, I mean, Megumi kind of just fits that broken threshold, I guess you could say, where, for example, we could just scroll down, like Red Momo, there's never an off period. There's it's always on no matter what, right? We can apply the same logic to my GOAT Blue Yaga that too many people love to sleep on. It's always an on period with him. There's never nothing gets turned off ever. So for the people that are wondering if Megumi's him, if you should invest, I do feel like Megumi is a unit that you should be looking at and you should be investing into. The only issue is that the pre-existing content that's in the game currently for like the tippity top of the game is not favorable towards him, because again, like there's no like Jujutsu primary content, and at the same time, floor 82, for example, it already nerfs buffs. So like units that already like strive in that environment because it's the taijutsu stage still suffer because they have those self buffs just attached to their kit. So it's already a terrible stage. But on like every other scope of the game, I can imagine that he will be an amazing unit. I mean, alongside the fact that debuff stages just in general are like pretty small for green. Like obviously for difficult content stages, 82 is that debuff stage, and as you saw, we kind of easily dismantled it, and that was A0 Megumi. And you know, we have floor 88, that's a buff stage, and I believe it's floor 78. Floor 78 is the green stage. We'll just look together. We're gonna look together. Because as it currently stands, right, you have 88, that's a buff taijutsu stage, not a stage favorable for Megumi. 82, the stage that we did in the video, he already worked just well enough in there. Obviously, he's not doing damage because it's a taijutsu stage, but his stat debuffing is phenomenal. And I believe, is it 78? Did your boy? No, it's not 78. Your boy does not remember properly. It's 77. So 77 is also a buff Jujutsu stage. So like another stage where he isn't exactly doing the strongest in. Megumi just feels like one of those units where it's like, okay, content is going to make a harsh curve based around him. I just feel it. Like whenever they drop units like this, I mean, mind you, this is a half anniversary unit. There will be content where he strives in, without a doubt. I'm pretty sure on the new JP tower floors that they have on the other tower mode, there is also some very, very strong tower floors that this unit, if you have him, you'll strive really, really well. If you don't have him, you'll suffer for it. Alongside, I believe there's also like the new extreme missions from story mode, where it's like if you don't have Megumi, wow, is it a really bad time. But I feel like this is one of those future-proof-esque units, where it's like, listen, there may not be too much content where he is a necessity to run on, because don't get me wrong, like you can go back in time, look at all those videos where I've cleared all that content in the past, and we didn't need Megumi to do it. But Megumi seems to be one of those support units where it's like, all right, if you have him, you basically have a future-proof support for a very, very long time. Because your only options other than that is Team Ghetto, which is like, don't get me wrong, I like my GOAT, but his kit is rather dated. at this point, alongside the fact that you will have those gap turns when you're popping ultimate. So you'll have those gap and debuffs. And obviously you have Gaku Ganji, which is like, don't get me wrong, he's been the GOAT for the Calamity event, but I don't really see myself using Gaku Ganji all too often right afterwards when you have this guy. I do feel like Megumi is a pretty high priority support unit. Definitely somebody that, if you pulled him, phenomenal. If you don't have him, I feel like in the future when content starts to evolve even further, the missing void is going to be very prevalent. But that's my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I feel like this was one of the harder units to analyze for this anniversary because at least for the other units in the celebration, for example, Summer Yuji, he obviously still has 89, 85, and we had the limited tower floors. And like Summer Gojo, we had 84 and 90. And 84 and 90, despite the fact that, like, yes, it's been body slammed over and over again in a plethora of different ways, those are still relatively difficult high RNG floors due to their very annoying mechanics. And he made those really easy. And then obviously with Summer Nobara, I mean, floor 81 is pretty simple. I mean, you could beat it with just full standard teams. But even at her just A0 performance, she runs laps around majority of the units in her category. So Megumi is in a very weird specific spot where, like, yes, he runs circles around everybody else in his category, but there's no real true relevant content where it matters. So at this point, he's kind of just ripping Sweep in half. So like if you get this guy, I mean, just tear Sweep in half. The Calamity event, God, this guy on the Calamity event. I mean, you already saw my Calamity event video already, where he led to a lot of the Black Flash reigns alongside 0.2 Gojo. So Megumi is a unit where you just got to invest and you will see the benefits. He is the pinnacle of what a modern support looks like in the big 2026 of Phantom Parade. Just straight up. Every single like super duper high tier meta support, he has that formula. Like, what can I say? The proof is in the pudding. You can just see it. They all have some similarities going along with it. All you have to see, consistent either debuffs or buffs being applied, and they're able to apply those debuffs and buffs upon ultimate. And there you go. You have a fully established big meta support in the big 2026, alongside only 3 turns of buildup. And again, with the rec bits you can use on him, I mean, he's already applying either extra stat buffs or extra ult gauge buildup, or you can just get creative, maybe just give him a CE rec bit if you aren't feeling too confident. But again, I showed at his A0 performance, you don't need to bring a CE rec bit. It's just a matter of preference. I do feel like this guy has a lot going for him, and we will just see how pivotal he becomes in the future. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Did you pull Summer Megumi? Did this video make you want to pull him, or are you still a little indecisive? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's the end for this showcase and the end of this little ramble. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for supporting the recent content despite my my physical ineptitude at the moment. We got the doctor's appointment tomorrow as I'm recording this outro. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord server. It's in the channel bio. Come on now, y'all should know this. All right, be sure to subscribe because we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. We're getting really close. I mean, 3K before 2027 would be a little crazy, but yeah. It's been Jay, aka it's Totality Story, and I will see you guys later.